Welcome to free CSCS and CPCS video course, the latest, CITB Health and Safety Lessons, 2021, UK. Accident reporting and recording. On average 35 construction workers are killed each year due to accidents. Over half of the fatal injuries to workers are from three types of incident. Falls from height. Being struck by a vehicle. Being struck by a moving or falling object. Year after year the same types of accidents and incidents are repeated. You and your site employer. What your site and employer should do for you. 1. Put measures in place that allow different trades to work safely together. 2. Make sure all employees fully understand the procedures for reporting accidents, incidents, and near misses. 3. Provide an accident book and make sure records are kept of all accidents. 4. Make sure that certain types of serious injury, incidents, and occurrences of certain types of work-related ill health are reported to the HSE, where required. 5. Listen, and make sure any concerns you have are acted on. 6. Make sure accident and incident investigations are carried out, to find the cause and understand what went wrong so it can be prevented from happening again, to find the cause, not to find someone to blame. What you should do for your site and employer. 1. Understand and follow your safe system of work. 2. Stop and take advice if you cannot follow your safe system of work. 3. Report any accident you have to your manager or supervisor and make sure the details are recorded in the accident book. 4. Report any near misses or anything you think could be unsafe. 5. Cooperate with any investigation. Common types of accident and incident. Falling from height. Slips, trips and falls on the same level. Manual handling. Being struck by mobile plant. Contact with electricity. Contact with moving machinery. Being trapped by something collapsing. Being injured in overturning vehicles and plant. In many cases these accidents could have been avoided by taking simple precautionary measures, for example, clearing up the work area regularly to reduce the likelihood of slips, trips and falls. Reporting and recording. You must make sure that any accident or injury you have is reported and recorded in the accident book. Unsafe conditions and near misses should also be reported, so action can be taken to prevent them from becoming an accident. Certain types of serious injury and injuries where an employee, or self-employed person, is off work or unable to perform their normal work duties for more than 7 consecutive days, have to be reported by your employer to the Health and Safety Executive, HSE. The following details must be recorded in the accident book. The injured person's name and address. The injured person's occupation. Date and time of the accident. Where the accident happened. How the accident happened. The injury that was sustained. Details of the person filling in the book, if different from the injured person. Your employer must keep accident book information secure, as it is confidential. Most accident books have perforated pages, which can be detached and stored in privacy and allow the injured person to have a copy of their individual information. Prevention. What you can do. Make sure you fully understand the safe system of work. Work to the instructions you are given. Follow the site rules. Do not be tempted to take shortcuts. Keep your work and storage areas tidy, good housekeeping. Keep access routes and walkways clear of materials and equipment. Report anything you think may be unsafe to your supervisor. Stop work if you think it is not safe. All accidents and incidents should be reported. Your employer can then investigate, find out the cause and prevent them from happening again. Everyone on site has a responsibility to report unsafe conditions. Health and welfare. You and your site employer. What your site and employer should do for you. 1. Identify work activities that could damage your health. 2. Tell you about the hazards and risks and how they will be controlled. 3. Provide suitable equipment and safe methods of working to minimize any exposure. 4. Provide you with personal protective equipment, PPE, free of charge, where needed. 5. Provide and maintain good, clean welfare facilities. What you should do for your site and employer. 1. Understand how the hazards can damage your health. 2. Use the equipment provided properly and follow the safe system of work. 3. Wear your PPE properly, and report any defects in your PPE. 4. Do not misuse the welfare facilities. Help to keep them clean and tidy. 5. Report any changes in your health or if you think that your work is making you unwell. 6. If you have any concerns or any doubts about anything related to your work, raise the matter with your supervisor or manager. Occupational dermatitis. This is a skin condition that is generally caused by exposure to irritants contained in chemicals and other harmful substances. Bricklayers, stonemasons, and painters and decorators are the trades that are most at risk of occupational dermatitis in the construction industry. The hands and forearms are usually affected, but in some cases the face, legs, feet and other parts of the body can be affected. The condition cannot be passed on from the sufferer to other people. It can be painful and will affect your personal life as well as your work life. Some of the symptoms are shown below. Redness, itching, dryness, cracking or blistering. The most common cause of dermatitis in the construction industry is working with cement. Wet cement can also cause burns. Irritant contact dermatitis. This is usually caused by the skin coming into contact with an irritant substance, which is often a chemical or dust. Anyone can be affected. The amount of time a person is exposed, together with the strength of the irritant substance, will affect the seriousness of the complaint. Most cases of dermatitis are of this type. Allergic contact dermatitis, sensitizing dermatitis. Some people develop an allergic reaction to a specific substance. This reaction may follow after weeks, months, or even years of use or exposure to a substance without any ill effects. However, once sensitizing dermatitis has occurred, any future exposure to, or contact with, the substance will again produce an allergic reaction. The skin's reaction to irritants varies from one individual to another. The reaction may be only a mild redness, or it can develop into swelling, blisters, and septic ulcers that are both unsightly and painful. Personal hygiene is particularly important when working with materials that may be irritants. It is equally important that clothing is kept clean. For example, oil-stained and dirty overalls are a well-known cause of skin problems around the groin. Allergic dermatitis can make your skin so sensitive you will not be able to use some substances again, which could end your career. Skin cancer. Ultraviolet, UV, Radiation from the sun is a major cause of skin cancer. Around 800 construction workers are diagnosed with skin cancer every year as a result of sun exposure. Those who work outdoors are at a greater risk. The following actions will help to prevent overexposure and reduce the likelihood of skin cancer. Covering up exposed skin by wearing suitable loose, long-sleeved, and long-legged clothing and a hat. Using sunblock on exposed arms, face, and neck. You should drink plenty of water to prevent dehydration. If you notice new warts or moles, changes to existing moles, or they begin to itch, seek medical advice as soon as possible. Don't ignore it. Early diagnosis and treatment is vital. Although less common, skin cancer can be caused by contact with mineral oils. Daily contact with items such as oily clothing or gloves can lead to a form of skin cancer. Mineral oils are common on mechanical plant and pipe threading machines. Diseases carried in the blood. Leptospirosis, Wiles disease. This disease is caused by bacteria that are present mainly in the urine of infected rats. It can enter the bloodstream through cuts and grazes, or from hand-to-mouth contact, for example, if the bacteria is present on your hands when eating or smoking. It is a particular problem when working on or near water, sewage, waterlogged sites, or rat-infested areas. You can minimize the risks by taking the following precautions. The early symptoms of leptospirosis, Wiles disease, are like influenza, flu. If left untreated, the disease may lead to kidney problems and can be fatal, sometimes causing death within 3 to 6 weeks. This is a disease of the nervous system. It enters the body through cuts, grazes, or puncture wounds. The bacteria that cause tetanus are found in contaminated soils or manure. An early symptom is an increasing difficulty in opening the mouth or jaw. Hepatitis. Treat discarded needles with care. Hepatitis is usually caught from contact with infected needles and syringes. A needle stick injury is an accidental puncture of the skin by a hypodermic needle. If not handled in a safe manner, discarded needles can pose serious health risks to anyone whose skin is accidentally pricked. Blood on a needle could be infected with a blood-borne virus, for example, hepatitis B or C or HIV. If you find any suspected drug-taking equipment, leave it alone and contact your supervisor or employer. Legionella. This is a form of pneumonia, which can be caught by breathing in contaminated water vapor or mist, for example, from air conditioning and cooling towers or hot and cold water systems. A safe system of work is needed if a water system is suspected of being contaminated by Legionella bacteria. If you think you may be suffering from tetanus, hepatitis, or Legionella, get medical advice urgently and tell your supervisor. Stress and mental health at work. Stress is the adverse reaction people have to much pressure or other demands placed upon them. It is not an illness in itself, but can lead to you not being able to perform at work and can have an impact on your mental and physical health and well-being. Stress can lead to anxiety and depression, as well as other chronic health conditions such as strokes, back pain, headaches, or migraine, stomach problems, and drug and alcohol dependency. Work-related stress and mental health conditions are closely linked, with similar signs and symptoms. Work-related stress can trigger or worsen an existing mental health condition. Your employer should identify any signs of mental health problems quickly and efficiently so they can help you to get the support or treatment you need. The early signs and symptoms of a mental health issue may include, but not be limited to, the following. Stress can affect you physically and mentally. Erratic or changed behavior. Poor work quality. Poor timekeeping. Withdrawal from social contact. Increased absenteeism. Unusual shows of emotion. Changed appearance. Increased use of alcohol, drugs, or smoking. Overperformance, people pushing themselves to excess. The earlier it is identified that an individual may be experiencing a mental health problem, the better it will be for all involved. The following may help to improve your mental health. Talk to a family member, a friend you trust, a mate at work, or someone independent. Talking about how you feel is not a sign of weakness, and having someone listen to you can often make you feel better. Look after your physical health. Good mental and physical health are directly linked. Physical activity, sleep and diet can all impact on your mental health. Getting a good night's sleep and eating a healthy diet can all improve the way you feel. Do things that you enjoy, for example, a hobby, reading, or sport, and try to avoid things that you don't. Recognize your limits, as this will help you recognize the things that are likely to have a negative impact on your mental health. Stop when you need to, and take a break if you feel like things are getting too much. Many sources of help are available. For further information, refer to organizations such as Mind, www.mind.org.uk, Time to Change, www.time-to-change.org.uk. Bipolar UK, www.bipolaruk.org, and Heads Together, www.headstogether.org.uk. Drugs and alcohol. Some medicines you can buy over the counter, such as hay fever medicines or cold remedies, as well as some prescription medicines can make you drowsy or have other side effects. This can affect your overall ability and judgment and mean you are not safe to be on a construction site and not fit to drive or operate machinery. You should read the label or speak to the pharmacist if in doubt. You must let your employer know if you have to take any medicines at work. Many employers and clients have policies to carry out random testing for drugs and alcohol. Anyone caught working under the influence of illegal drugs, some types of medicine or medication, psychoactive substances, known as legal highs, or alcohol may have to leave site immediately and could lose their job. Effects of drugs and alcohol. Regardless of if it is a medicine, alcohol, or any type of drug, any person under the influence of any substance, while at work, is a danger to themselves and everyone else on site. They are likely to suffer from the following: poor or irrational decision making, distorted vision, slow reaction times, mental confusion, clumsiness. The effects and traces of some drugs can stay in the body for long periods, even after users think the effects have worn off. For example, cannabis can be detected during testing several weeks or even months after it has been taken. Unlike alcohol, there are no permitted safe levels for illegal drugs, so a trace could mean failing a drugs test. This includes drugs referred to as legal highs, psychoactive substances. Psychoactive substances. Psychoactive substances are designed to produce similar effects to drugs, such as cocaine and ecstasy. They were known as legal highs until changes to the law in 2016, making them illegal under the Psychoactive Substances Act. In 2015 there were over 100 deaths involving psychoactive substances. 5 out of 6 deaths were males. Most deaths involving psychoactive substances happen in people aged 20 to 29, and the average age for deaths of this type is 28 years old. It is an offense under the Psychoactive Substances Act to possess with intent to consume, produce, offer to supply, import or export any substance for human consumption which is capable of producing a psychoactive effect. Offenses are punishable by a fine or up to 7 years imprisonment. Illegal drugs. The maximum penalties for illegal drug possession, supply, dealing, and production depend on the type or class of drug. Examples of maximum penalties are outlined in the table next page. Class A. Examples of drugs: crack cocaine, ecstasy, MDMA, heroin, LSD, magic mushrooms, methadone, methamphetamine, crystal meth. Possession, up to 7 years in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Supply and production, up to life in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Class B. Examples of drugs: amphetamines, barbiturates, cannabis, codeine, ketamine, methylphenidate, Ritalin, synthetic cannabinoids. Possession, up to 5 years in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Supply and production, up to 14 years in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Class C. Examples of drugs: anabolic steroids, benzodiazepines, diazepam, gamma-hydroxybutyrate, GHB, gamma-butyrolactone, GBL, piperazines, BZP. Possession, up to 5 years in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Supply and production, up to 14 years in prison, an unlimited fine or both. Alcohol. Depending upon your employer or site policy, the blood alcohol level needed to pass a test can be less than the legal driving limit. Besides being a danger to themselves and others, anyone under the influence of alcohol at work risks losing their job and livelihood. Many people convicted of drink driving were driving the morning after drinking the night before. Most people seriously underestimate the length of time it takes to sober up. The effects of alcohol can last for hours. On average, it takes 1 hour for your body to get rid of 1 unit of alcohol. A unit is the volume, liters, multiply ABV, percent alcoholic strength of the drink. 1 pint of beer at 5% strength is 2.8 units. 5 pints of beer at 5% strength is 14 units. 1 200 ml glass of wine at 13% strength is 2.6 units. 1 25 ml shot of a spirit at 40% strength is 1 unit. 1 275 ml bottle of Alcopop at 5% strength is 1.4 units. If someone started drinking at 7 p.m. and drank 5 pints of beer with a strength of 5%, it could be up to 10 a.m. the next morning before all the alcohol is out of their system. However, this time can change depending on things like your size, weight, age, when you last ate, and how much sleep you have had. From January 2016, the Department of Health recommends that alcohol intake is limited to 14 units per week, 2 units per day, for men and women. There is no safe limit of alcohol that you can consume and then drive or operate machinery safely. For further information on alcohol, visit the DrinkAware website, www.drinkaware.co.uk/alcohol-facts. Work-related ill health can have a serious impact on individuals and their families, which is often misunderstood and underestimated. This may be because the effects of exposure to most work-related ill health hazards are not always immediate, unlike an accident which causes an immediate injury. You may go home from work feeling more or less the same each day and be unaware of the effects. If you are repeatedly exposed to small doses of dust, fumes, or certain substances, exposed to loud noises or use vibrating tools, they may cause damage to your body. It can take many weeks, months, or even years before symptoms of exposure and damage become a problem to you, and by then irreversible damage may have occurred. Thank you for watching and good luck for your test.